Alright, so I'm starting to build the legs. This is just one small portion of the legs. And with the way he made the legs connect, basically all I do is I just slot this little, basically what you call a key, into the already pre-made little slot right here. So all I pretty much just do is I make sure that I have the front pointed forward, and then I just more or less just slide them in like so, and the legs will mount without a problem. Now, now if I was making like a small model, I wouldn't do any major reinforcements, but since again this is a life-size model, I gotta make sure that the legs can support everything else. So I'm having to figure out how in the world am I going to make sure that I can make the legs nice and sturdy, while also having enough wooden dowels left over on the bottom here, so I can actually connect the legs to the feet and actually make sure when she's actually standing that the legs here that the feet and whatnot don't collapse. Because what I need to do is I need somehow put a big old wooden stick all the way down to there, and then somehow have it meet up exactly where this meets up, so it can be nice and sturdy. It's kind of hard to explain, so actually give me a second to kind of give you an idea of what I mean. This is one of the nice things that I like about Papercraft design, or how you pronounce it, is that it allows me to highlight sections to figure out exactly how it needs to be put together and whatnot. So right here I have basically this section and this little guy highlighted. And as you can see right here is the foot. So basically what I need to do is I'm going to have a wooden dowel basically going from here, and it's going to go to about here where the knee bends, and then I'm going to have it going up this way. And I'm going to have like some type of a support structure right here, so the two pieces will actually connect and be nice and sturdy. I've done this before, so that's not the hard part. The hard part will be actually making it so that there is some type of a connection that's going from at least here to here or something. With the way I've actually built this particular foot design, I can actually just have a wooden dowel going all the way to about here or so, and that should be more than enough to support this leg section. And since the other foot here is just sitting there flat, of course, if I can just highlight that section too, I'll just highlight that for the sake of ease. I can just put one dowel straight through the leg, and I can have it just going directly to the back heel plate here. So this section right here is going to be easy to do, while reinforcing this whole area will be a tad bit difficult. The one thing I actually do like, I think this was an accidental mistake on his end, but I like how this piece here is open. What this piece here open allows me to do is that when I actually figure everything out when it comes to reinforcements and whatnot, I can just, and I get all the sticks in there, I can just stick my hot glue, I can just stick the tip of my hot glue gun into this little hole here, and just fill this whole cavity with hot glue. And that hot glue will be more than enough to keep this whole little section here nice and sturdy. It's kind of hard to explain to people that have never built stuff like this, but with the way he's designed this thing, he's made it really, really simple for me. So I actually like that this little hole right here is there, even though I think this was even though I don't think he meant to keep this here. I'm happy that he didn't fix this, because if I actually scroll on to the other one, give me a second. Because as you can tell, I have the other side highlighted, and there's no hole. There's a hole on this side, so again, I don't know if he had this hole left there and forgot about it, or if he did it intentionally. But if he did it intentionally, that's really freaking smart. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just more or less going to nip a little hole out here too, so I can do the same thing. So yeah. Also, another thing that you may notice in this video is that I'm not recording 60 FPS. That is because the rendering times for the videos that I record with my camera here can take forever. Right here I'm doing a near 10-minute video just for my newest betta fish, and it's going to take another 15 to 20 minutes to get it done. So I'm wanting to see how quick the recordings will be if I just record in 30 FPS. I do need to get myself a better CPU, but unfortunately I don't got the money to buy a nice sixth generation core, because I'm not going to buy any of these newer cores because I want to use Windows 7. Windows 10 is hot garbage. But yeah, with that said, I'll come back when I figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to put the leg, how I'm going to reinforce the leg sections and whatnot. Well, first thing on the agenda to get the foot made is I got to more or less get rid of Oka here, and that's because the wooden dowels I'm using is just slightly more thicker and slightly less thicker than the ones I got right now. The reason being because I got a few of these bigger dowels, so I can have major reinforcements for like the main leg and her spine. Because the leg I'm building right now isn't going to be supporting all the weight, unlike the other one. So I'm going to use one that's slightly more easier to work with. And this wooden dowel is actually slightly smaller in diameter than this one. So I got to pretty much just unfortunately rip her apart and take her down and use the wooden dowel from her. I got one here, and I got two here too. So yeah. So I got unfortunately get rid of her and whatnot. Luckily I can easily rebuild her down the road if I want to. So yeah. Of course I'm not going to get rid of her, of course, even though the game's kind of, unfortunately, I don't think it will ever come to life, but whatever. Alright, so here's my general idea of how I'm going to make the legs connect to the feet. Basically, I cut this section off small enough to where I can easily hopefully build all the way up to here. And then I'm going to basically, well, I know what I'm going to do for this, but I again had to figure out how I'm going to make sure the legs are nice and supported. And simply put, it's just like this. Basically I'm just using a piece of cardboard wrapped and I made into a tube, as you can see right there. There's a piece right there. And I just wrapped it around the stick. And then I just basically made sure that it's actually connected directly to the bottom that way, so that adds in reinforcement for the little section that actually isn't reinforced, which is this area right here. That way someone's actually holding the weight, this whole area right here won't collapse. And to help keep the actual stick in place is I just more or less just built little bracers around the middle section. I'm going to be doing this every 2 to 3 pieces of paper, as in, for instance, I'm doing it on the second piece because right here is first, and then right here is the second. But I'm going to be doing on every 2 to 3 pieces. So as you can see right here, here's one little section. Here's another little section. And I'm probably going to do is do a little support shot like I did right here. It's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you get the general idea. What I'll do is that since this video is already going on long enough, is I'll most likely come back when I actually get this whole leg section built together, or most likely when I get to the knee section right here. Again, I'm trying to make these videos short, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll just come back when I see fit. So, to the people that see these videos long enough and go like, oh god, another long one. Sorry about being long because I don't know. Look at it this way, at least I'm not monetizing my videos. That's all I can really say. Alright, like I said, or not like I said, but like I thought, the legs are going to take a while to build. And I started this build around, I started building the legs around 10-ish, 11-ish. It is it's already 4:30 p.m. So I've already spent well over 6 hours just on this little portion alone. Good grief. But like I said, these have to support all the weight that this model is going to be producing. I actually don't know how much weight this thing is going to be, but I know it's going to be fairly heavy. And as you can tell, since the leg here actually bends, I had to actually cut and add in a second stick to add reinforcement. And as you can tell, it's pretty simplistic. At the very bottom, I just have a lot of hot glue on the bottom, Now, as you can tell, this is pretty much how I just connected the new dowel to the old wooden dowel, just by using a heap ton of hot glue, wooden popsicle sticks, and whatnot. I know this looks pretty janky, but when it comes to these life size builds, this is more or less exactly what I do when it comes to the legs. So generally speaking, since this video is already going to be long enough as is, I'm actually just going to continue my building all the way up to where I actually get the legs actually more or less put together and whatnot. Because pretty much after that, it's just very simple. It's just pretty much just me doing this, but just like every fifth or so ring or whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna come back when I get both legs actually put together. Hopefully I'll be done by 9 p.m. I highly doubt it, but at least now I have a time to see how long it takes for me to get from where I am now to when I am actually done with the legs. Alright, so it's the next day actually. I worked on this thing till around 10, so I got this leg put together. I haven't actually put in any superstructure inside the top section here because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to bend this in some way or another. So if I can have it to where all this can bend freely, that's best for me. And once I actually get the proper form for it and whatnot, then I'll go in there and actually add in reinforcements. And of course, like I said, this is something I've done for multiple builds over the years, so I know what I'm doing. And of course, I got a little bit of the other leg put together. And of course, I'm going to get this. For what I want to do today is I want to get both legs put together, get the hips put together, and at the very least get the skirt made. So yeah. There's also something else I want to talk about before I actually finish off the legs. Like I've been saying, this is the Minmay I've been wanting to build for a while because I like this outfit. And luckily, someone on the Reddit page, on the YouTube Across Reddit page, was actually able to pull said file, but it's mirrored. So basically, what that means is that the model's in reverse. So let me show you exactly my Blender skills and all I pretty much know. All I know. So basically, the only things I know about Blender is how to install plugins to allow me to open up certain file formats, and then just to export them out to a different format so I can actually use them in Papercraft, or however you pronounce it. So I had to install a plugin to allow me to open up the Minmay file that the guy on Reddit gave me, and right here is said file. But as you can tell, I don't know if, well, actually you really can't see, so let me go and export it. So as you can tell, it's just generally a blank slate right now. But if I reopen up YouTube Across, or the little app here, note how the little flarings right here, the little, I forget what these, I don't know what these are actually called. They're on this side, but on here they're on the other side. So basically, the whole thing's in reverse. So when I went to initially check this thing out and make sure I could use it, I did the normal routine of specifying the textures. And what would happen is that once I go to the folder that actually has the textures, this is the one for the actual main body. This is what happens. So what I had to end up doing was opening this up in Paint, doing flip, yes, and then doing this. If my memory serves correctly, doing that, and it should work. There we go. So yeah, basically the whole thing's in reverse. I left a message to the guy that did the post. He acknowledges it, and apparently he's going to do something else about it down the road. So hopefully he can go in there and actually properly set the models up so I can actually use them without too much problems. But with that said, I can still make do with it because the guy that posed the Minmay I'm working with right now, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to more or less fix the model from being reversed. So with that said, I'm going to more or less finish up the legs and whatnot. And Lord knows this video is already going to be like, what, 20 minutes long? Oh God. But I thought I'll give you guys an idea of how little of Blender and whatnot I know of, to give you a general idea of my skill set when it comes to something like that. So yeah, off to finish her. Now I'm going to go and finish her legs. Alright, I got the legs more or less put together. There is some inconsistencies because there's not as many formers as I was hoping for. But generally speaking, the legs are more or less put together. Now I haven't actually finalized anything because I still need to put in a heap ton more reinforcements and throughout here and whatnot. And I have to actually connect these two pieces together and actually properly more or less cement these two sticks down so they don't move around, because as you can tell right now they can move, and considering how much weight the legs have to support, I have to make sure this whole area right here is nice and solid. And as you can tell also right now, I have a small little structure at the little leg nibs to basically keep the form that I currently have right now. I'm actually going to attach the feet probably at the very end of this build, because for right now I want to get the rest of this thing put together, and I mostly want to put these together at the very end, or at least attach them at the very end. Because again, right now I'm still in the building process with the legs. Tomorrow I'm going to hopefully build the skirt, and then hopefully also build one of the top portions, and actually have this thing somewhat looking like Minmay. But again, it just depends on how long it takes for me to build these things, because it took just to do the legs took 2 days. This is 2 days of work right here. So yeah. So I'm gonna let this video render out on my computer all night, and then I'm just gonna upload it when I wake up. Currently, if you're wondering what time it is 1:20 or so a.m. So I need to go to bed. I'm sleepy.